Happy Friday morning, everyone, from the Pacific Northwest. It has been a ringer of a week. And after the last couple of videos, the theme videos that I put out that gave me coverage while I worked through some incredibly intense and deep experiences that are now showing me what is going on at this point, I can actually begin to bring you that information. I'm going to share a little bit of it here in this video, calling it the turning point. And then Sunday, April the 6th, this weekend, 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, I am doing a free YouTube live stream to talk with the Galactic Federation of Light, channel with them, go through information from the pendulum checks that I am doing and will be doing, and then showing you the shift information that is affecting us personally and also politically. I will be able to finally talk about that much more openly with a greater deal of coherence. Second, yes, we are getting toyed with again with TikTok, with the whole banning and shutdown thing. The thing that I can tell you from the psychic perspective that I see is TikTok is going to stick around. Yes, the lights will probably go out. They're going to do that whole play thing with us and manipulate thing with us again. I do anticipate it to go dark, and then I anticipate it to be back on. We're looking at like 5th through the 8th kind of thing. In the meantime, I am definitely over on YouTube. But you all need to know, and I hope you can get shifted over to a new social media platform called Skylight Social. The deal with Skylight Social is the last time the TikTok ban thing happened, Mark Cuban got on Blue Sky and said, if there are any web developers out there who can set up a new form of the TikTok platform, I will sponsor you. There were several people who stepped forward. Victoria White and Reed Harmeyer, who are the co-CEOs. They developed the new platform. The entry point is piggybacking off of Blue Sky, and I went in and signed up yesterday. From what I can tell, it's clunky, but it is very TikTok-esque, and they are touting this as a no-ban platform. Love that. And the other thing that they are not talking about that you need to know about is they're also setting this up in a Web 3.0 version. And if you don't know about Web 3.0, that is multiple gateways coming in, and that connects up very similarly to the cryptocurrency, multiple gateways of currency. This is the new future, people. This is the new platform. We're moving from centralized network to decentralized community network. That's what this is. So if you are on TikTok and you're tired of the roller coaster, go join me over on Skylight Social. I'm going to begin to develop over there. All of the energy that I usually put into TikTok, I'm now going to begin to shift it into that space. And the numbers are taking off. They went from 50,000 to 100,000. It is now one of the top social media downloaded apps on the Google Play Store. Like, that's the kind of power we're dealing with here. So go check it out. Go get on over there. And if they turn the lights out on TikTok, know that we actually begin to have an alternative. And that's the other thing that I want to talk to you about. What we're living through right now, this was already prophesied. Even though it seems like there is a takeover, it is actually, what is actually going on is this is the deconstruction so that we can reconstruct, and it's already beginning to happen. Look at what's happening with social media. There's already beginning to be a shift happen. We're going to see this happen in education, healthcare, finance, food, agriculture. We're going to see this big shift out of a centralized run structure in our country and our economy into a decentralized structure in our government and our economy. That's the whole idea. The thing is it's scary right now. This is very scary what we're looking at and dealing with, and I totally get that. We're going to be talking more about this turning point on my free YouTube live on Sunday. Let me give you a little bit of heads up about this turning point. This week, starting on Monday, we are officially functioning in a new structure on a new platform in the new 5D energy. Prior to this week, it was all these swimmy currents with 5D energy. As of Monday, there were enough, from what I could tell, there were enough of us who got initiated and planted into that new 5D platform to anchor in the structure. So remember that new timeline that came in January? That was the foundational timeline. And remember, I was like, oh my God, it's a 60%, it's a 70%. We're now at 100% on that new timeline, okay? That's where we're anchoring in the new structure. There is a secondary structure. That's the one, there's a secondary timeline consciousness structure that came in on March 1st. Okay, that one is also anchoring in this new timeline structure energy. And the thing that I can definitively tell you after working in it for 4 days and being drugged through the ringer on this, I will tell you folks, you guys were enjoying my theme videos. I was behind the scenes going, oh my God, what the is going on? The new structure is circular, right? It's circular. Get your head wrapped around that. We are used to patriarchal, centralized power at the top that then drops down like a family tree into the lower management of our communities, right? We're not doing that anymore. Now it is truly a circular energy, boots on the ground, grassroots, regional energy that no longer contributes energy into the national scene. And so what I find fascinating is this weekend at the epic point of astrology, pick up my forecast. I'm going to be doing a forecast over the weekend. I looked at the energies and the forecasting and oh my God, that protest, the protest on Saturday could not be planted at a better place because it's all that energy of Mars and Uranus and Saturn going boom. And then it's all the energy of the reviews of Venus and Mercury connecting up into Saturn. And then there's other energies coming through. We could not be at a bigger turning point. And this is the weekend that we truly blow apart the old that right now is trying to terrorize us with a bunch of fear. We're blowing apart the old and we begin to establish the new. So the one thing I want you to begin to think about is old patriarchal top-down structure no longer has foundation. That is beginning to blow apart. And the new foundation of the structure is circular. It's feminine. It's cyclical. It is decentralized network. Think Web 3.0. Think cryptocurrency. That is the direction we're headed. Now, for those of you who are going, what about Kamala? What about Biden? I can officially say this week is when that all flipped and transferred. I no longer have any more information coming in about Kamala or Biden. And frankly, that is the old structural energy. All of the information that's coming in now has to do with how are we working on the ground with this circular, decentralized, networking, feminine energy that is now actually viscerally being anchored into our first timeline and making it real, and it's anchored into our second timeline, creating very dynamic choices in there. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about before I close out here is, remember in the channels that came through, there was this thing about there being no leadership for a while. I believe we are there, and I believe we are headed more into it. And then there was a question over my last live group, a woman asking about what can we do to move this whole government thing along and make it happen faster? And the channeled answer that came through was, are you ready to be the new leadership? That was the channel that came through. Are you ready to be the new leadership? I believe we are there. We are now at the seeming whole corporate takeover of what's left of our corporate topic democracy, that all blowing apart. And then the fragments that we are going to pick up all has to do with a true decentralized networked democracy. It begins now. It begins to happen. The energy of it really gets seeded over the weekend with this protest movement. And we are moving into a summer of continuing to dismantle the old way and begin to put in place the new way. And so that turning point that Spirit Team talked about, remember they talked about you're doing better than you know, but you're not ready for the turning point? I think this is what they were talking about, because the turning point is not us waiting for somebody else to come in and pick up the reins and take care of stuff. The turning point is us becoming the new leadership. These are the topics that we will be talking about on Sunday and beginning to get more information through to you. Then coming in on the back end of this, I do want to make note to the people who may feel like gaslit with the whole 4 a.m.er, Biden, Kamala, that not coming true, feeling maybe manipulated by psychics, feeling like disillusioned by the whole thing. And the thing I want to share with you is I read energetically to the best of my knowledge and deliver that information. I am watching other psychics read and deliver the best information to the best of their knowledge. So if you are in a position of hurting and in fear and wanting to blame someone, and the psychics are the easy target, I just want to gently remind you that is old witch wound patterning, and it is exactly why we landed in the position with the patriarchy for so many centuries that we've been living with. And what's happening right now is we are learning as a collective how to read the energy landscape as a community and learn what we can as we go and be very clear. The landscape is changing because we have left a flat, singular, linear timeline that was very easy to predict. And we are now in layers of 5 or 6 timelines going on at the same time. And we are changing structure out of a linear structure, patriarchal top-down energy into a circular, feminine, networked, decentralized structure. That's a big change. That's a big sea change. That's what we're going through right now. So before you start blaming out of your fear, your fatigue, your disillusionment, before you start blaming, just know we're all doing the best that we can with what we've got to work with, and we are still showing up to work with you and deliver messages and bring through the best information that we can at this time in a very big sea change that is going on right now. This is historic. This weekend, this whole week in particular, we are at that tipping point from the old ways and the old regime and the old structure into the new one. Keep that in mind. And if you're wondering why it took me so long to get here, it's because it wasn't until this week that Spirit Team had me move the Kamala Harris egg off my desk and then begin to show me the new energies. Remember, a lot of psychics are on a need-to-know basis. And this week, we got a lot more need to know, and the whole landscape began to open up a whole lot more. I will have that for you on Sunday. Keep moving forward to meet the miracles along the way. Stay safe out there on the protest. Make sure you do your research and do your right protesting with this. And I will see you on the forecast, which is next, and the live YouTube. Mwah.